People ask me when it comes to high school and college aged students, what's the story with motivation? Like, how can I get my child motivated to excel, to do the best that they can, to reach their potential when it comes to high school and college? Motivation, understanding what it is, and knowing how to actually make it happen is the key. Motivation is that thing that wants you to go 110%, give it everything you've got, to have a plan, to be prepared, and to execute the steps that you put in front of you to reach the goal that you've set. The trouble is, a lot of people don't have a goal, a path, a plan, or sometimes even a desire to get there. Well, that's all going to change today. I'm going to give you the keys to success when it comes to motivation. This isn't just something that can be applied to high school and college students, even though that's where I'm directing this. It can be used across the lifespan, no matter whether you're married, whether you're trying to raise your children, whether you're in a real tough competitive job, whether you're out of work right now and looking for a new career or a new job. You can take these keys to motivation and use them anywhere. First of all, let's talk about what motivation can actually do for you in your life. The basic thing motivation does, if it's installed into your body or brain today, is it gives you confidence. It gives you a desire to do something. You want to succeed. It also gives you productivity, a chance to produce results. If you are highly motivated, you want to try, you want to get out there again, and you want to produce, and you become that person who's very productive. And also with motivation, it wants you to develop and achieve goals. So if you're really motivated to climb the next ladder at work, or to make an A in a class, or to make a team in high school sports, then you are going to want to develop and follow through with goals and a path and a plan that's set. Goals are critical, and those become the focus, the laser vision that you have. And the more motivated you are, the more people see it. The more people see it, the better your reputation becomes, because everyone sees you as somebody who, wow, that person's highly motivated. They don't stop until they get exactly what they're seeking. Now, the first step to this is creating and keeping a plan. This can be tough. You have to know what you need to do and when. This starts with a basic planner, as simple as it sounds. Something on paper, something on your computer, something on your phone. It can't just be here. There are some people who are very good at keeping things up in their head. Even those people let things fall through the cracks. But for the majority of people, having a plan, having a planner on top of a plan, and executing the planner, keeping it with you, carrying it with you throughout your daily life is going to make you have a better chance to succeed. If your goal is on making A's, you have to have school stuff in your planner. The classes you go to, the study halls you have, the tutoring that's offered, the office hours that professors have, the time you're going to spend in the library, the study time you're going to spend outside of school. You're going to have all that in there. When tests are, there's so many things. And you're going to need to review this information daily. It's kind of the thing you wake up to and the thing you just look at throughout the day to see where you are on track. And if something changes, you move it. But that's why you use a pencil when it comes to planners, not a pen. You write things down. If they change or move or switch or go away, you can erase them. You can write them in a new spot. You can add things. It works perfectly. A pencil, a planner with paper, best thing ever. And once you meet the goals that you've set, you put new goals into place. You might actually have a goal of just getting through the first quarter of school by making certain grades in certain classes, and not kid yourself. If you're used to making C's, you're not going to say, oh, I'm going to make all A's now. Maybe you're going to make B's and C's next quarter, and then the one after that you're going to try to get some A's. And you set the goals so that you can achieve them and work to achieve stronger goals after that. Now, I've talked about having a plan, and I've talked about having a planner. The key to all of this is consistency. You have to have routine in your life. You have to have predictability, because it lets your body get used to it, your brain get used to it, and it lets you stop bouncing around all over the place, going in different directions based on how you feel. A lot of people will wake up and what they're going to do that day is determined by how they feel. If they're really down and depressed, they might not do as much and be as productive. If they're really up and happy, they might do tons of things. You have to have predictability in your life. Even when school's not happening, if that's your focus, it needs to be your goal, your focus, to achieve, to excel, and to do the best you can. You don't have to do this 24/7. If finding a job is your goal, you don't have to look 24/7. You just have to take specific times to focus and concentrate the best you can on finding that job and excelling and looking at that job. There are people who can look for jobs and spend hours looking for jobs and they don't produce anything. And then there are people who spend 30 minutes and do way more productive work because they're really honing in on what they're looking for, what they're willing to do, reaching out to people, staying connected. So you need this predictability and this consistency and this routine in everyday life. So I always say the big three: eating balanced, movement and exercise, which doesn't have to be running and lifting weights all the time. It could be walking, but exercise and movement. Good sleep, steady sleep. Not going to bed at 3 a.m., waking up at 6 a.m., and then the next night you go to bed at 10 and you sleep for 12 hours, and the next night you sleep for 6 hours. You don't want to bounce around. You want to have consistency with your eating, with your exercise, and with your sleeping. And the more consistent you are and the better routine you have, the more likely you are to reach your goals because your routine is based on achieving those goals. It's not just based on your mood at the moment. If I wake up and feel excited and I want to go run 6 miles when I don't normally run, that doesn't do me any good for the next 2 weeks. I don't feel motivated because I'm sore and I'm tired and I don't want to run. So I don't run. I'd rather run 1 mile every single day for 2 weeks than to run 6 miles one day and not at all for 2 weeks. All of this predictability and routine will guarantee to lower your anxiety. When people talk to me about anxiety, so much of the time, they're not in a steady routine. They feel pushed and pulled in different directions. They feel a lot of stress and pressure, and it's not even tangible pressure. It's just perceived pressure. They feel like something's out there that's pushing them. And sometimes we're overloaded. Sometimes we have too much going on and we need to back off. And that's when it's good to have a life coach or a mental health professional to tell you, wait a minute, let's back off and change these expectations, shift these goals around so they're doable for you. This scheduling and planning allows for so much flexibility. You can set it how you need to, and if you need to back off, you can. Some college students I work with that don't do online schooling well at all need to lower their schedule, need to cut their classes in half, especially right now with the pandemic going on, because they will not succeed by having all online classes. It's a fact. It's too difficult to stay focused and on track. They need to be in person with these classes. So they'll either take a semester off or just take half of what they normally would so they can do well enough to still feel good about themselves. Remember this: success comes from doing hard things. We have to do hard things and do them better and work harder at them in order to succeed. You can't run yourself into the ground, and you can't throw away all the other priorities in your life of family, of faith, of friends, things like that. You can't do that and actually have a balanced life. So it does take a mental mindset of I'm going to have to set goals and I'm going to have to work really hard to reach them. If it's about reaching goals for something you love, something you really love doing, it's all worth it. If you love what you do, working hard at it is not hard. It can be exhausting, it can be mentally draining, it can be physically challenging, but when you have a real goal and a passion to do something, going to work is easy. It's about people finding that thing they love to do though, and then pressing in and working on it really hard. Remember that doing something really hard now, going the extra mile, working 110%, working at it more than other people do, actually pays off in the long run, not the short run. So I always ask people, if you really want to do this, if you want to make this team, if you want to make this grade, if you want to get that job, are you doing what it takes to get there? Or are you doing what you think it takes to get there? Because sometimes it's about building a relationship. Sometimes it's about cutting back. Sometimes it's about lowering expectations. You can still work hard and lower your expectations so every day your self-esteem doesn't hinge on whether you get that job or make that grade or make that team. Because then that can put so much pressure on yourself you don't succeed. And as you work hard and you try to do better and you love what you do and you fight hard to achieve goals, other people see it. It's infectious. It's contagious. They will want to be around you and they'll see the work ethic that you have, and it will open up opportunities for you. You have to love what you do, you have to work hard at what you do, and you have to stay focused on the goals of where you want to end up. And don't let those waver. It's that idea of working smarter rather than just working harder. Some people work harder day after day after day and they don't advance. And some people work smarter and they find the right way to get the most out of the job, the class, the team, the marriage that they can, and they do it the smart way. So they use the least amount of energy possible to be able to get the goals that they want. It's like a tennis player. If you ever watch tennis matches professionally, when they have games and sets, sometimes tennis players get behind far enough that they just give up the set. Because when you're playing 6 games wins a set and you're down 5-0, it's sometimes not worth it to keep fighting and grinding to still lose. You might just give that up to save your energy to work super hard the next set and come back and win. It's the same analogy here. When you set goals, you have to know how much energy you have to even give towards it. Whether it's a grade or a class, having a planner, putting things in the planner, following the planner will help you get to where you want to go. It just takes a lot of extra work. Well, what do I do when I don't love what I do? Or I don't want to do it? Like I'm just not motivated. First thing is you have to reprioritize your goals. You have to figure out what can you do now. If it's not the next 6 months, how about the next 3 months? If it's not 3 months, how about the next month? What would the goal be that you would want to set that you can follow so that you can find some success? I want you to concentrate on small pieces, a little bit at a time. Sometimes it's a day at a time, like 12-step programs will say. Just for today, I'm going to try to do this, or I'm going to try not to do this. And that will help me wake up tomorrow and say, I did it yesterday. When you do this, you can start taking those little pieces and applying them to the future and saying, wow, this has taught me perseverance. This has taught me to stick it out. This has taught me how to do the best I can every single day, not even knowing if the result's going to be worth it, because it doesn't matter. I'm fighting for my goals. I'm planning the best I can. I'm using the planner to set myself up for success. I'm gaining knowledge. I'm gaining experience. And the end goal is to get over here. And if I just stay right here and realize it's never going to happen, I just can't seem to get there, then you're so much less likely to ever make it over there. It's like stepping on a scale if you're wanting to lose weight and you step on it every day, and your self-worth is based on what that number says. It's not an accurate reading. Over time it is. If you look once a week or once a month and you notice the trends, that will tell you something, but not every single day or many times during the day. So the big piece I would tell you to conclude with all of it is to find a mentor, find a coach, find a mental health professional, somebody that can guide you and lead you in the direction and the path you want to go. Whether it's work, whether it's school, whether it's sports, whether it's your family and your marriage, find somebody that can lead you. And that way they can be the eyes and the ears outside and tell you the things maybe you can't see, because you can reach goals. Sometimes we just don't know which goals we need to set, and we also don't plan for them properly. That planning piece is the key. Remember that above all. Motivation is giving that 110% because you want to. You know why? Because you have a goal. You know what that goal is going to help you do? To be happy and to achieve. And when you reach a goal, you work hard to set another goal so that you can keep achieving in your life and feeling good, not avoiding family and friends and the other parts of life. You want to have a balanced life, routine, consistent, and do your best to always know who you're trying to become. I can't wait to hear how it goes for you.